What's going on, everybody? My name is Phantomatic, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build Honkai Star Rail's latest 5-star physical destruction unit, YUNLI. Don't get fooled by how she looks, because one wrong move and that'll be the last move you ever make. And yes, the weapon she wields is in fact a sword. But for me personally, that thing is too big to be called a sword. Too big, too thick, too heavy, and too rough. It's more like a large hunk of iron. But regardless of her weapon, she's able to swing and parry whatever foes comes her way. But before I continue, here's all the materials you'll need to get YUNLI to level 80. I have no idea why I've never done this in the previous videos, but here you go. Anyways, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's get to building.
My skewers, you'll pay with your life!
Her technique Posterior Precedence grants her the ward effect, and if she attacks or gets hit when the battle starts, she'll immediately use her ultimate's counterattack Intuit Call on a random enemy, and her technique also gives Intuit Call a 80% damage increase. Being able to pop off her ultimate's counter right as the battle starts is really nice. Not only that, but her passive Flash Forge would allow her to regenerate 15 energy when YUNLI gets hit. This passive also has its own counter called Intuit Slash, and will damage the attacker with physical damage equal to 105% of YUNLI's attack and 52.5% of physical damage to random enemies. Note that if a specific enemy didn't attack her, then she'll randomly counter attack an enemy. Her skill, Blade-Born Quake, allows her to restore her health equal to 20% of YUNLI's attack plus 178. She also attacks a single target with physical damage equal to 105% of her attack and physical damage equal to 52.5% of her attack to random enemies. Healing capabilities and being able to damage multiple enemies makes it so that you wouldn't necessarily have to worry about YUNLI dying while in battle. Her ultimate, Earthbind Ether Break, will grant YUNLI the parry stance, and she'll also taunt every single enemy on the field, which lasts until the end of the next ally's turn or the enemy's turn. Her crit damage for the next parry is also increased by 90%, and instead of her regular counter being activated when she gets hit, it'll instead activate the ultimate's parry Intuit Call, and if no one hits YUNLI while she's in the parry stance, then she will randomly attack an enemy on the field with Intuit Call. As for how much damage Intuit Call deals, it's going to be hitting physical damage equal to 198% of her attack to a single enemy, physical damage equal to 99% of her attack to random enemies on the field, and 6 instances of physical damage equal to 64.8% of her attack to random enemies. And all of this damage is also considered ultimate damage. Her ascensions goes as listed. Ascension 2, Fiery Wheel. After each use of her normal counter Intuit Slash, the next counter will be replaced by the ultimate counter Intuit Call. Ascension 4, Demon Quell. While in the ultimate's parry stance, she resists crowd control debuffs and takes 20% less damage. Ascension 6, True Sunder. When she uses her counter, her attack is increased by 30% for one turn.
My skewers, you'll pay with your life!
When it comes to which traits you should prioritize, in order it's going to be Ultimate, Talent, Skill, and lastly Basic Attack. However, Talent, Ultimate, Skill, then Basic Attack is another option you can go with. But regardless, Basic Attack is always last priority. As for the mini traces, you'd want to focus on getting both the attack and crit rate ones respectively, and then the HP ones last.
My skewers, you'll pay with your life!
Now, if you're wondering whether or not YUNLI is free to play or not, then I highly recommend putting your wallet back, because YUNLI is honestly really good at E0. However, if you are still planning on pulling dupes, then I'd recommend going for E1 and E2, since her first Eidolon increases her Intuit Slash and Intuit Call's damage by 20%, and increases the additional damage Intuit Call deals from 6 to 9. And her Eidolon 2 allows her counter to ignore 20% of the enemy's defense when it deals damage, which is pretty self-explanatory as to why it's pretty good. But you know what's not good? Her fourth Eidolon. A 50% effect res increase for one turn. Whenever you use Intuit Slash or Intuit Call, by the way. And lastly, her E6 is going to increase Intuit Calls and Intuit Slash's crit rate by 15% and physical res pen by 20. And if her parry is active, Intuit Call will activate regardless if the enemy is targeting her or not. If I'm being honest, I really don't think her E6 or E4 is worth going for, since they don't really add much to her overall kit, so honestly, don't waste your money on absolute mid.
My skewers, you'll pay with your life!
YUNLI's best Lightcone is going to be her signature 5-star Lightcone, Dance at Sunset, since it'll greatly increase the odds of her getting attacked, increases her crit damage by 36%, and she gains 1 stack of Fire Dance after she uses her ult for 2 turns. And what this Fire Dance does is increase YUNLI's follow-up attack damage by 36%, which can be stacked twice. Her second best Lightcone is going to be the 5-star Lightcone Brighter Than the Sun, which will increase her crit rate and will gain 1 stack of Dragon's Call for 2 turns. And what this does is increase her attack and energy regen, which can be stacked twice. The 5-star Lightcone, the Unreachable Side, is going to be her third best Lightcone since it'll increase her crit damage and her max HP, and if she gets attacked or consumes HP, then her damage will be increased. Note that the effect will vanish after she attacks. The 5-star Lightcone, Something Irreplaceable, is her fourth best option since it'll increase her attack, increase her damage, and restores HP if she defeats an enemy or gets hit until the end of her next turn. Note that this effect can only trigger once per turn. The 5-star Lightcone, On the Fall of an Aeon, is her last 5-star option since it'll increase her attack whenever she attacks up to 4 times and increases her damage for 2 turns whenever she weakness breaks an enemy. The 4-star Lightcone, Under the Blue Sky, is a great pick for YUNLI since it'll increase her attack, and if she defeats an enemy, it'll increase her crit rate for 3 turns. The 4-star Lightcone, A Secret Vow, is her second best 4-star Lightcone since it'll increase her damage and increases further if the enemy's health is higher than hers. The 4-star Lightcone, The Most Welcome You, is her third 4-star option since it'll increase her attack. The 4-star Lightcone, Nowhere to Run, is her fourth best 4-star option since it'll increase her attack and restores her HP when she defeats an enemy. Indelible Promise is her last 4-star option since it'll increase her break effect and increase her crit rate when she uses her ultimate for 2 turns. And the 3-star Lightcone, Collapsing Sky, is her last and only 3-star option.
My skewers, you'll pay with your life!
The Wind Soaring Valorous 4-piece Relic set is YUNLI's best set since it'll increase her attack by 12% with the 2-piece, and with the 4-piece, increase her crit rate by 6%, and also increases her ultimate's damage by 36% for 1 turn when she uses a follow-up attack. However, you can use the 4-piece Ash Blazing Grand Duke set, which will increase her follow-up attack by 20% with the 2-piece, and with the 4-piece, increases her attack by 6% every time her follow-up attack deals damage to a targeted enemy, which can be stacked twice for a 48% total attack increase. There's also the 2-piece Wind Soaring Valorous set and the 2-piece Ash Blazing Grand Duke set, which will be a 12% attack increase and a 20% follow-up attack damage increase. You can also use the 2-piece Musketeer Wildweed set and 2-piece Ash Blazing Grand Duke set if you don't have any decent 2-pieces of the Wind Soaring Valorous set. There's also the 2-piece Champion of Streetwise Boxing set and 2-piece Ash Blazing Grand Duke set, which will be a 10% physical damage increase and a 20% follow-up attack damage increase. You can also use the 2-piece Champion of Streetwise Boxing set and 2-piece Wind Soaring Valorous set, which will be a 10% physical damage increase and a 12% attack increase. As for Planar Orbs, Inerd's Sao Soto is her best option since it'll increase her crit rate by 8%, and when her crit rate reaches 50% or higher, YUNLI's ultimate and follow-up attack damage is increased by 15%. You can also use Duran, Dynasty of Running Wolves, since YUNLI will gain 1 stack of merit when someone on your team uses a follow-up attack, and every stack of merit will increase YUNLI's follow-up attack by 5%, and when you reach 5 stacks of merit, YUNLI's crit damage is increased by 25%. Sigonia is another great pick since it'll increase her crit rate by 4% and will increase her crit damage by 4% when she defeats an enemy, which can be stacked up to 10 times for a total of 40% total crit damage increase. And Rudelit Arena is going to be your last option since it'll increase your crit rate by 8%, and if her crit rate reaches 70% or higher, it'll increase her basic attack and skill damage by 20%. As for main stats on your relics, you want to go for crit rate or crit damage on your body and attack percent on your boots. As for the Planar set, you'd want physical damage or attack percent on your orb and attack percent or energy regen on your rope. As for substats, you'd want crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, and flat attack on your relic pieces.
My skewers, you'll pay with your life!
Since YUNLI is a DPS and her kit allows her to be a hyper carry DPS, then you'd want mainly supports around her. So, supports like Robin, Tingyun, Yukong, Sparkle, Hua, and Hunt March 7 all work really well with YUNLI. Robin can increase everyone's crit damage with her passive and provide decent damage with her kit. Tingyun can increase YUNLI's damage with her skill and can regenerate YUNLI's energy with her ult. Yukong can increase everyone's crit rate and crit damage with her ultimate. Sparkle can increase YUNLI's crit damage with her skill and also increase all allies' damage with her passive. Hua can greatly increase YUNLI's attack and regenerate her energy with her ultimate. Hunt March 7s can increase her speed with her skill, and Lynx can heal and increase the chances of YUNLI being hit with her skill. So, teams like YUNLI, Tingyun, Sparkle, and Hua, YUNLI, March 7th, Robin and Hua, or YUNLI, Tingyun, Yukong, and Lynx can work. But you can also use YUNLI on dual DPS teams like YUNLI, Topaz, Robin, and Hua, or YUNLI, Jade, Robin, and Hua can also work really well. Anyways, that's gonna be it for my build guide on YUNLI. I will be hard skipping this unit, but I do hope that this guide was of some use to you all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next Honkai Star Rail video. Signing off.